Okay, we are live on YouTube. So, good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about watching series, and I have here with me Diego, Pedro, and Leon. Can I call you like that? Leon? Leon?
Leon.
Is that a Leon? Okay.
Yep.
Are you Brazilian?
Excuse me?
Are you Brazilian?
Yeah, I'm
Ah,
here.
okay.
I'm from São Paulo.
Ah, okay, great. All right. So let me introduce myself quickly. This is Leandro. I am 34 years old, and I've been here for, I believe, since 2022. I don't recall off the top of my head right now. And I've been a host here for a while as well. And it's always a pleasure to have the talkers here sharing ideas, learning, and practicing a little bit more. Okay. So I'd like to start with you, Leon, that your microphone is open already. Can you please introduce yourself and then ask the first question? What kind of series do you enjoy watching the most? E.g., drama, comedy, thriller, and why?
Okay. I'm Leon Cruz. I have 22 years old. I'm from São Paulo. I lived here in 5 years, I think. Uh, so about the series, um, I don't have a preference. I think I like good series. Uh, yeah, the last series that I watched were thrillers, time travel, and other things.
Cool, nice to meet you, Leon. What about you, Diego? Can you please introduce yourself and answer the first question?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Diego. I'm 27 years old. I'm Peruvian actually, but I have been living here in Brazil for around 6 years. In Pernambuco. Talking about the series, TV shows, especially talking about this is a stream series. I could say it maybe drama and thriller. And nowadays, in the last weeks, I have been watching anime shows series.
Okay, I'm sorry I lost that part. Where are you from?
Peruvian.
Oh, are you a Peruvian? Oh, great. So we
Yeah.
can speak in Spanish as well. All right.
Sí, puedo.
Cool. So I suspected from Leon, but in fact you are a
Yeah.
foreigner. But that's okay. Awesome. Cool. Thanks. Nice to meet you, Diego. What
Nice to meet
about
you.
you? Thanks. What about you, Pedro? Can you please introduce yourself and answer the first question to us?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone again. My name is Pedro. I am 24 years old. I was born and live in Mauá, metropolitan region of São Paulo. I working as database administrator. I am married. Um, I like watching movies, series. Um, I am also drummer. I like traveling. Uh, just this.
I have some acquaintances in Mauá, and I never been there, but I have some, and I know some people from there. And nice to meet you as well, Pedro. Did you mention that you are a drummer? Like drum?
Yes, yes.
Oh, oh, that's nice. Do you have any video, YouTube video, a YouTube channel, something like that, or you prefer to
Yeah,
just,
yes,
oh,
yes. My
share.
favorite class.
All right. So, but I mean, do you have some video that you are playing drums or no, that you like to
Uh,
watch?
on on YouTube, uh, I watching videos about my job, a drummer. Uh, I try learn about things. Um, uh,
Cool. But have you ever recorded yourself playing drums? Like, and then share on YouTube or
no,
no?
never, never.
Okay. All right. Don't be shy.
No, not to be
Cool.
sharing.
Okay. I understand. I got it. All right. So, in my case, the kind of series I like to enjoy, I like comedy and I also like action, not only action series, but also action movies. But I'm not a big fan of sci-fi, uh, scientific fiction, you know what I mean? Like something that it's more related to the reality, normal, regular things, regular stuff. So that's my preference regarding series. Okay, let's jump to the second question. And I'd like to ask Diego. Diego, do you mind read and then answer the second question to us?
Yeah, for sure. So the second question said, what's the last series you watched? So in my case, I watched Lost. That was a very interesting TV show for me because I never watched in the past. But I could say that it's a very interesting series because it's something about a flight that is gonna lost in an island, and that was very interesting, especially the things that are happening in this island.
You know what's funny, Diego? Here in Brazil, this series is very popular because in the past we have this being broadcasted on TV. You know, do you remember Leon Pedro, the series called Lost? We always says lost. Now you remember, right, Pedro? It
Yes, yes.
it was broadcasted every Sunday night after, I believe it was on TV Globo. TV Globo is well, of course you know TV Globo. You are living in Brazil, Diego, but it was very popular, very common. I remember I was a teenager and I liked the beginning of the series because there was a plane and stuff like that. But then it was only things related to the island, and so I'm not a big fan. But cool. Have you watched the series on Netflix?
Yeah,
Um,
Netflix. Yeah.
I got it. I got it. What about you, Pedro? What is the last series you watched?
Oh, my kind of series is action series. Uh, I believe in that they generate more emotions. Uh, uh, ah,
Do you remember any series, the last one that you have watched? Like, I don't know, for example, Breaking Bad. Oh, I watched Breaking
ah,
Bad
the
recently.
better,
Yeah, but
the
is there
better.
do you remember I mean, the last series you have watched or not?
Uh, Breaking Bad, uh, Prison Break,
Prison Break.
The Walking Dead.
Okay,
Uh, oh, uh,
I got it.
yes.
Cool, awesome. And you, Leon, do you remember the last one you have watched?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched two series, two good series in the, how can I say, last week, I think.
Wow,
The first is the From, is a thriller.
Rome.
Uh, From, yeah, is a, I really like the series. It's about the histories, time travel, and like how can I say, like a zombie.
Mysterious Unknown Force.
Yeah, mysterious histories. I really like.
It's science
It's
fiction.
yeah, science fictions. So I really like because it's a very kind of series, very histories, different histories. I really like. Elder was War uh, is a, how can I say, is a audio series. Is a Paciente 63. Is a
In
audiobook, audio series. I don't know, in the Spotify. You only listen the stories. Is about time travel. I think fantastic.
it's something like a podcast, but it's an audio series. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a podcast. Uh,
Like it, like in the past. Do you know, guys, what's the meaning of soup opera? Have you ever heard this expression, soup opera? Here in Brazil, we call novela, like Globo, SBT. In Peru, I'm not sure if it's the same, telenovela or something like that. Is that
Novela.
right?
Novela
Oh,
também.
novela. All right. So in English, we call it soup opera. I don't know why it makes no sense at all. But I remember of course, I don't remember, but I remember someone told me in the past it was broadcasted via radio. You know what I mean? A lot of like in the 60s or 70s, a lot of people don't have television at home, so they listen to soap opera through the radio. It's something like that, but right now using internet, podcast, Spotify platform. Cool, interesting, nice to know. In my case, the last one I have watched a lot of series, but the last one was Prison Break. I know it's not a recent, it's not a new series, but I have almost no option to watch, and then I started. It was really hard to keep it up, like to keep up because the first season is the best, but then in the second and the third season, okay, I'm done. But this Prison Break was the last series I have watched. Okay, let me see. All right, so Pedro, do you mind read and answer the third question to us? Is that okay? Can you read the question number three to us and then answer it?
Um, my favorite series is Breaking Bad and Prison Break.
Okay,
That's
okay. Do you have the questions with you? Like do you have the questions, the 10 questions we have for tonight? Let me see if I have shared.
yes,
Oh, yes. So do
yes.
you have the question, like the number one, the number two, the number three,
Two,
right?
three, yes.
Okay. Can you read the third question and then try to answer to us? Is that okay?
In which language do you prefer to watch series?
Perfect.
Uh, um, Current, I prefer English, subtitle and Portuguese, but uh, actually prefer English.
Okay. Cool. Thanks. And you, Leon, which language do you prefer to watch series?
Me too.
Yeah,
I I
that's my case.
usually I usually watch in English with Portuguese subtitles, but depends on the production. For example, Brazilian series I watch in Portuguese, but usually I prefer in English.
Cool. Thanks. And you, Diego, which language do you prefer?
Yeah, that's my case too. Yeah, I prefer in English, especially when it's a TV show from US, for example. Sometimes because it's quite difficult to understand the accents. in the majority of the case, I prefer to listen in English with subtitle in English too.
Cool. That's my biggest preference as well, but I also like a lot to watch Spanish series. We have a lot of material on Netflix. They have a lot of productions from Spain specifically. They have some from Argentina, Uruguay, but the majority of the productions are from Spain. So I like to watch in Spanish with subtitles in Spanish. I like to always combine the audio with the subtitles in the same language. The same with English. I prefer to watch in English with subtitles in English as well. So, but it's not actually, as we have a small amount of time, like I don't have a lot of free time. So I always try to consume some entertainment content, but always trying to keeping up or trying to practice some listening, trying to understand. So that's why I prefer in English and it's in Spanish. I don't recall the last series I watched in Portuguese. Cool. Let's jump to the fourth question. And let me see. I believe is I'm trying to be random here. Like I have a list and I'm trying to control like to don't leave you alone like call Diego in the beginning and then call Diego in the end and also with the same with Pedro, the same with Leon. Uh, Diego, no, no, let me see. Leon, about the fourth question, is there a series you started but you never finish it? Why did you stop watching it? Do you remember any series that you stopped it in the middle?
Don't remember, but the Walking Dead, I never how can I say?
You never finish it.
I never finished. Yeah,
Do you, re-
I think is repetitive
do you
and
remember? I'm sorry.
the
Do you remember how many seasons there in Walking Dead?
no, I think that I watched five five. How can I say capítulos?
Episode?
Episodes, yeah,
We
like
have we
five
have a lot of
episodes.
episodes and they are
Yeah,
grouped by a season.
yeah, okay. I
Le-
think that I watched five episodes.
So we have uh, 11 seasons.
Nossa.
So 11 years. It's hard to keep watching from the scratch to the end. No,
Yeah.
no, not for me. 11 years.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So Walking Dead. Okay, thanks. And what about you, Diego? Do you remember any series that you have started but never finished?
Yeah, in my case, I'm gonna say the same. It was The Walking Dead. So I didn't finish. I think I watched until the fifth season. Another one that is was like very similar. It was Fear the Walking Dead. It was a good TV show for me also, but something happened in this TV show that I didn't like it. So that's the reason I stopped watching that.
Cool. I don't remember. In my case, I don't remember any series that I have started watching and then uh, gave up. I don't recall, but I always try to choose carefully. Of course, sometimes we don't. It's hard to guess what's gonna happen if you will like it. But the Prison Break was one that I almost uh, gave up. You know what I mean? What about you, Pedro? About the fourth question, is there any series that you started but never finished it? Do you remember?
Definitely The Walking Dead. It's very hard. It's 11 season. I stopped in this season. Currently, I watching again, but it's very hard. Yeah, yes.
So we have a winner. The Walking Dead. It's impossible to to watch from the first season in 2010 until the last season in 2022. 11 years. Wow. 11 years? Yes, I guess so. Okay, so question number 5. Uh, Diego, who is your favorite character from any series and what do you like about him?
Let me see. Maybe I could say that's is from the. This is a teaser from chemistry. The name is Breaking Bad. Yeah, it's a good character for me because it's a man that he tries many ways to get to don't give up. And yeah, I think it's very interesting character at the same time, and his personality is awesome also. Uh,
Oh, nice choice. What about you, Pedro? Is there any favorite character that you have from any series?
Um, Michael Scofield from Prison Break. This
It's a
series,
good choice.
he makes some tattoo uh, on prison plant to save his brother.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That idea to have the map of the prison or the plan of the runaway tattooed on his body was awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
yes, amazing.
Nice choice as well. What about you, Leon? Do you have any favorite character from any series?
Yeah, I like the Michael in Prison Break too, and but I my prefer is the Walter White in the Breaking Bad. Uh, his
Say my
character is
name.
amazing. Yeah, say my name.
Say my name. Cool. It's Heisenberg, right?
Yeah, Heisenberg.
Cool. In my case, have you ever heard about this series called The Mentalist? The Mentalist, yes? So I like the main character, Patrick Jane. He is a medium that can predict something or can have some visuals, stuff like that. I know I have mentioned that like reality stuff, but in this case, I think it was really well written, the series itself, and it was something that I watched. I believe I watched the entire series, and he is one of my favorite characters. I also like the Walter White, Heisenberg. I believe it's the best series I ever have watched in my life. I remember being awake the entire night watching episode after episode of Breaking Bad. And then we had Saul Goodman. Do you remember the specific Saul Goodman series? It was from the lawyer uh, Saul Goodman from the same series, Breaking Bad series, but he had his own series. It was, of course, it was not that impressive as Breaking Bad, but I like it as well. So these are my references. These are my characters that I really like it. most. Okay, so let's jump to the six. I never know how to pronounce the ordinary number six. Six, six. Yes. So let's jump to the sixth question. And Pedro, have you ever recommended a series to someone?
Yes, Witcher from Amazon Prime. Witcher is an action series where and he tries solve the problems anyone.
Oh, nice. What about you, Leon? Have you ever recommended a series to someone else?
Yeah, um, depends of the person, but for example, if a businessman, I really like the Suits. You know,
Suits.
Suits is
So,
a good series,
man,
and
I tried to watch that one. It was impossible to understand. Like,
yeah, I like because if is the chart histories. For example, you watch episodes today, uh, when you see the older episodes, is older histories.
makes
You
sense.
you don't need to watch the first
The
episodes to
the previous.
understand the five episodes, for example. Uh,
They are connected, but
yeah,
slightly connected. Okay.
yeah. Uh, there are connections. Are history, but you don't need to want to understand the older episodes.
So we
I
we have a backbone, like we have a
yeah,
story, but then they have a lot of different situations each episode.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And the Sweet is a good series, and I recommend to watch Dark. Do you know Dark is a travel time? Is I think they're fantastic.
Dark, Netflix.
Yeah,
Actually, it's a short series,
yeah.
only 26 episodes,
Three seasons.
only 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Cool.
but these are hard series. You need to understand about the physics, the time travel. But these are I like it.
Cool. Interesting. Well, in my case, I have, of course, recommended series to someone else, to my father-in-law. I have recommended Breaking Bad. He didn't like. But of course, people have different preference, each one. So in my case, it was cool the first season, but then to him, he didn't like at all. So I have tried to recommend, but as I've mentioned before, we always have different persons. So different people, everybody has its own preferences, so it's hard to me to recommend a series to someone else. And what about you, Diego, about this sixth question?
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't remember now, but maybe in the past maybe I recommend Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad also. Game of Thrones for me it was one of the best TV series that I watched. Also Breaking Bad. Uh, Another one that Leon comments is Sweet. It's a good one. Also, I watched all these series in the past. And yeah,
I got a question for you, Diego, and you, Leon. Which language have you watched, in which subtitles language have you watched Sweet, because I tried with English, audio in English and subtitles in English, and was impossible to me to understand. Something like I have never understood anything in English. When of course, small talk, simple things, but then when it comes to uh, law stuff and then jury, stuff like that, it was impossible. So Diego and Leon, which language and subtitles have you watched? Leon, go ahead.
A friend of mine to say me to watch in English because you learn it and you listen about the English business, the English in the nowadays, for example. I think is a good advice.
But what about the subtitles? In which language have you had the subtitles?
Yeah, I usually listen English, but oh, sorry, I watch in English and the subtitles in English too.
And you understood? Cool.
Yeah, the
Kinda.
something. No,
I have watched it. I have watched
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
even if I have no idea what they are talking about.
yeah.
Okay. What about you, Diego? Which language and subtitles?
Yeah, so in my case, the language was the same. It was in English, but with subtitle in English too. Yeah, at the beginning it was kind of difficult to understand, especially because the accents and there are some special words that the meaning is kind of difficult to understand at the beginning. But yeah, I think with practice maybe or trying to cut the main idea because yeah, it's like we have the subtitles and we have the action from these persons and we could see that what kind of mean they are trying to say maybe. Uh, yeah, but at the beginning it was kind of difficult, and then I could say that I could improve. But um, but talking about, for example, a percentage, I could say maybe 80%.
You know what? There's a saying, there's a quote here in Brazil. Uh, I don't know how to explain in English, but it's something like, in the beginning, it was hard, but then in the middle, it seems that we were in the beginning again. That is, it keeps hard, as in the beginning. I don't know if you have something similar in Peru, but when in the beginning it was hard, but in the end, it seems that we were in the beginning again. That's it. It's completely difficult to understand.
Yeah, we have this kind of expressions too. El comienzo difícil, después al final igualmente difícil, como el comienzo.
Em português, no início tava difícil, depois parecia que estava no início ainda. Something like that. Of course, we have a huge country and we have a lot of different accents, so we can have different expressions. Cool. I forgot Leon is from Mauá, and no, where are you from, Leon? Oh, Pedro is from Mauá. Okay. And what about you, Leon?
I'm from São Paulo.
Have you ever heard about ABCDM? ABCDM?
Yes.
They try to group Mauá in this. So we have which one are the cities? ABCDM in São Paulo. It's Santo. I forgot. Santo
Santo
André,
André.
Santo André, São Bernardo, São Caetano, Diadema e Mauá, right?
Yes, yes. Great.
Cool, cool. All right. So that's why I asked. I am from Rio Grande do Sul. I'm living here in Santa Catarina right now, but we have a huge country, a lot of different accents, and sometimes it's hard to understand people from the north people from the south, people from southeast, southwest, and so we have a lot of different accents here. I don't know in your case, in the Peru case, if you have different accents, different cultures across the same country, but
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah. Especially the culture is quite different. But I could say between some countries is we could see that is more expressive. The
oh
Spanish
yeah,
like are from Chile, Argentina.
yeah. I have some customers in Argentina, Uruguay, and also in Colombia, Panama, Mexico, and it's really totally different, totally different. I am like a neutral accent. I have a neutral accent, and I can communicate with everybody, and they never complain about my Spanish, but it's hard, and it's funny because it's easier to me to understand Argentinians and Uruguayans. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm from the Rio Grande do Sul, that it's almost neighbor, and we have a very similar accent. So that's why it's easier to me to understand them. All right, so let's move to the seventh question, and let me ask to Leon. Do you usually watch series alone or with friends or family? Which one do you prefer?
So I mostly alone, but what my family is nice too. But my I prefer watching in English. But if I watch my wife, I need to watch in Portuguese.
It's kind of a lonely thing, right? Here at home, I am the only one that speaks English, but my wife speaks Spanish. So whenever we are watching a series together, we are watching in Spanish, and I never have spare time to watch alone anything. But in the past, I was used to watch alone in English to practice. Something like, okay, I have to practice, so I will spend like 4 hours in front of TV practicing. Great. Thanks, Leon. What about you, Diego? You usually watch series alone or with friends or family?
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing of the series. For example, there are some opera soft here in Brazil that I watch with my girlfriend. And that case, I prefer in Portuguese. But by myself, I could say because I'm also the 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 person that is actually speaking English. So to practice, I prefer to watch these kind of TV shows by myself.
I apologize for the personal question, but is your girlfriend Brazilian?
Yeah, no, don't worry for the question. Yeah,
Okay.
is she's
She's Brazilian.
Brazilian. Yeah,
Okay. So you are the only one that speaks English uh, at home
yeah,
or between friends. Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With my friends, I think it's quite difficult to watch a TV show. But another one is Spanish. My girlfriend also speaks Spanish too.
So we at least we both have uh, a common language with our partners to to watch something. Cool, thanks. What about you, Pedro? Do you usually watch series alone or with someone else?
I usually to watching with my wife. I prefer watching English language and subtitles too. But his hate English language and movie series now learning English, but he not understand. Um, isso.
So your wife is learning English, but she don't understand yet. or don't like to watch anything in English with you?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes that happens. Cool. So let's go to the 80th question. Uh, have you ever, I'd like to ask to Diego. Actually, people in your country call you Diego, right? Here they call you Diego, not Diego.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Diego, have you ever watched a series in English to help you learn the language? Was it useful?
Yeah, for sure. I could say that trying to catch the main idea when a person is actually watching a series is a good one, especially to learn new phrase and also uh, try to practice the listening because there are many accents behind the world, especially for example in US, Canada, and sometimes kind of difficult to understand. Maybe with a TV show, it's gonna help us to try to catch these accents. And yeah, in my case, it was very helpful and useful.
Yeah, in my case, I believe watching series, TV shows, and mostly podcasts, these are the best ways to get in touch with real life. You know, sometimes we study a lot English, like in a course or in books, and we go to the street and nobody speaks like that. All right. People mumble, people speak like I forgot the expression, slang. They speak slang in a compressed way. So that's why I like to watch real life, like to watch series, to watch TV shows, not that much, but mostly uh, English, not only English, but series and podcasts to practice not only English, but also Spanish as well. What about you? We are on the question 8. What about you, Pedro? Have you ever watched it in English to practice? Watch any series in English to practice?
Oh, yes, yes. I watch series in English language. Help me in learning and to pronounce, write, and read talkings. Hum, é, tem me ajudado muito, verdade.
Cool, cool. Pay attention. We spent like 49 minutes speaking only in English, and that was the first time you speak something in Portuguese. So props, like 40 more than 40 minutes trying to understand, trying to express yourself. This is an achievement, such an achievement. Props. Cool. Now you only have to repeat these more 100 or more 1,000 times. I always says that we will study anything for the rest of our lives. It could be a language, it could be anything else, but in my case, English, I've been studying English since 2010. So, wow, 15 years. And I try to keep in touch almost every single day. And I still have a lot of stuff to learn. I have a lot of improvement to make, but that's good. That's awesome. All right. Now the 80th question, Leon, you haven't answered the 80th question, right? Yet. I'm not sure. Have you answered the question number 8?
Yeah, yeah, I believe too. Uh, its help is a lot in vocabulary, pronunciation. Many people say me that I learn in English watching Friends, for example. Yeah, I believe.
I heard that before.
Yeah,
So, can I give you guys a tip? I have done this a lot. Actually, I would like to give you two tips. The first one is to take a notebook, and actually notebook, to write down something. Let me see. Oh, this camera. So take a pen, take a notebook, and while you are watching the series or listening to the podcast, try to make a note, to take a note on new words, new expressions, new vocabulary. This is really good to fix, to how can I say this? How can I put this together? In my case, it was really helpful to learn new expressions and to remember when we write down something, we use a different part of your brain, different connections, and I believe it helps a lot to remember and when we need to use similar expression afterwards. And also, I have practiced like 2 years in a row to something that I call ghost. It's literally to repeat everything that I heard at the same time. No matter if I make mistakes, like I am watching a video on YouTube or watching a series, and when I heard some phrase, I try to repeat at the same time. It's exhausting, but it helped me a lot. In the beginning, I have decreased the speed. I forgot the play speed, I believe, but you know what I mean. The video speed, I have decreased it to 0.8 instead of 1x, 0.8x to be able to repeat the same phrase that I have just heard. And then I started to get used to do it, and then I started to improve. And all of a sudden, I was able to repeat almost at the same time. This is good to improve our muscular memory. So when we pronunciate, when we say the word, it's different because our brain again have to make different connections. So the two tips I would like to give to you that I have used it and it was really helpful to me was to write down a lot. I have a lot of notebooks, a lot of paper that I have written in the past, and also try to repeat. It's something like, okay, I'm working now, I'm studying. I'm not just chilling out on the sofa. No, I'm working. I'm on a chair on a table, watching series and taking notes. This was really helpful to me. Okay. So before we jump to the 90th question, let me share with you guys an URL, a link. It's our survey, and please take some time, like uh, 2 or 3 minutes after this conversation, to evaluate our immersion. And if you didn't like, please, I have shared on the chat. If you didn't like, uh, okay, Leon. Leon had to quit the call. So uh, please take some time to answer the survey and leave your comments, leave your thoughts about our conversation if you have any suggestion, and please evaluate this conversation we have had tonight, right? So we have like 5 minutes and two questions. So let me see. Do you want Diego to choose between 9 or 10 to read and answer to us?
Yeah, so for me, maybe the next one. What are the advantage and disadvantage of a streaming platform like Netflix or Amazon Prime? Uh, yeah, for example, for me, something that is good is also I could say that we could see any TV shows nowadays in this kind of platform. Uh, I know that there are some TV shows that is quite difficult to watch, especially the new ones. and we have to wait like as some months. But nowadays is very easy to find a good TV show. In the past, it was kind of difficult, but maybe it was like a free because we could see in the internet. The disadvantage was we have to search on the internet maybe
And then download
download with our virus.
a lot of torrents downloads.
Yeah.
I'm not
In
saying that
Spanish,
I have done that, but I've
in
heard.
Spanish, yeah, in Spanish, in Spanish we say a specific virus, troyanos. Uh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, man. I remember when you mentioned loss. The first thing that came to my mind was when you have to watch just one episode a week. So would take forever to watch a long series like Lost, you know what I mean? And right now, if you have on-demand platform, streaming platform, you can watch the entire series if it's available, and there's no limit. You can watch uh, whenever you want. You can watch every episode. You can watch the entire series in a row. It's not a problem. So right now, I believe it's easier because we have I consider cheap platforms. Like it's not expensive to pay like $20 a month for Netflix, right? So in the past, it was really so much more difficult to get access to these kind of content. And right now, it's so easier. What about you, Pedro? What's your opinion? What are the advantage or and disadvantages of streaming platforms like Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Oh, in my opinion, advantage of streaming platform is uh, um,
Can you hear me, Diego?
learn new
Yeah.
um, student pronunciation, write, read, actually, né? Um, now disadvantages, costs, uh, maybe for
But come on, $20, man.
uh,
It's cheaper than
costs
it's cheaper
very
than
expensive.
fast food.
Yeah. Uh, a moment um, eu não tinha em horas desvantagem.
Don't worry. We got the point. So, guys, we have no time left. It was such a good experience to have you tonight to have this conversation about series. And I appreciate your time here. And I hope you can be here at the same time, same channel next Wednesday. Okay? So
Hey.
have a good one and see you. Bye.